What do you think of when you hear the name?
Redshell.
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 Redshell is this, from what I've heard, and I've really only heard through like secondhand sources, is that Redshell is just this super kind Octobrush player.
He's sus, bro. Sussy brushy out.
Oh my god. No,
Hey, someone had to say it. Someone had to say it.
No. So much.
An Octobrush player, which is something you don't really see at the high level of competitive Splatoon.
The brush one trick. Like, if you're thinking of any high-level brush probably in North America, you're thinking of Redshell.
The original solo queue god back in Splatoon 2. Every time you ran into Redshell, you'd be like, why am I losing to this Octobrush? I feel like this should be a free win, but I'm losing instead.
They play a really good Octobrush, like a really good Octobrush. Kind of one of those players where I kind of gave me the impression that Octobrush is like a really solid weapon because, I don't know, not a lot of people really use it, considering there's like so many other choices than that, but...
He's a very talented Octobrush player. That's kind of the main thing he specializes in. I've been seeing him kind of on the rise.
He is so determined, and he will get so into the little details and fine details of like movements, the way specials work, the way that he can play around teammates. And he's so into it and so intricately into the details that I think that stands out to me about Redshell.
I think one thing that's really cool about them is that they play this like ambush play style, which so few top players are willing to do. The kind of flanking brush, the sharking brush, that kind of feels like it gets beaten out of competitive players. But a very few very cool competitive players keep trying to make it work. And when they do, especially as high a level as Redshell's able to make it work, it's a real treat to watch.
Brush, Zipcaster, and is not a green shell.
They're a Div X player. They are a member of Tempest. That team also, they won SOS 91 in December 2022. They got third place in Splatomax, which was a tournament that had 16 of the best teams in all of Splatoon, not even NA, but I'll say like NA in kind of the Western region in Europe.
He just texted the team chat like 5 minutes ago saying you all better not be doxing me.
Ever since the current roster of Tempest came together, Redshell has been the centerpiece of what makes that engine go. One of the most creative players that you'll ever see in terms of positioning and attacking with the InkBrush and the Octobrush, which is not an easy thing to do, as I'm sure most of you know, but take a look at the positions that Redshell goes into when they start their attack, and I guarantee you'll find some avenues that you've never thought of before.
I used to look up to him. He would be the main front line, and I seen him pop off with like 30 kills and more in our scrims. So I was like, I want to do the same. That's exactly what I was trying to do. Like, I wanted to be as good as him because I saw him like as like a god in my eyes.
So I remember Redshell as like the standout player from that roster in terms of like what was giving us trouble on the front lines. And they've only gotten better since then.
I'll just see him go in so much, like so many times where I'll sort of just expect like, oh, he's gonna get a trade of this. Like runs in, kills 3 people, and it's, oh, let's go now. Like I didn't realize we were pushing the second that I saw him move. Like
Often vocal, so anytime we're kind of silent, they'll usually give out advice to how we want to play. So we try to adjust that for other games.
He's on this new roster of Tempest, who's been coming in and actually has been doing quite well. Took a lot of upsets early in Splatoon 3.
Redshell's the IGL, insane.